Great voice. I mean, wonderful voice. The room was completely silent for those of you out there while this man sang. There just isn't any any noise being made. So, Kangaroo Boy, and where did you come from? Where did you move here from?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. And is this a small town in Pennsylvania? Is this in the eastern or western part?
Central part. Central Eastern, I guess.
Right.
Called Lebanon. Not to be confused with Lebanon.
Right. Not that anyone would. So is that farmland or is that mountain country?
Yeah, I had farmers in my backyard, Amish country, you know.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And did you move away from there at young age, or have you been traveling around for a while since?
Well, when I was 18, I moved to Philly, which is the big city in PA.
Right.
And then when I was 22, I moved out here to Seattle. So that was the big jump. It was from Pennsylvania to the West Coast. Yeah.
There are a surprising number of people from Pennsylvania in this town. What? Oh, I'm overcrowding it. All right. Surprising number of people from Pennsylvania out here. What drew you out here?
I had a buddy who wanted to move to the West Coast, and he has really bad skin problems. So Seattle was probably the best option for him as far as his eczema goes, where he was thinking either Austin or San Francisco, and Austin's too hot and San Francisco was too expensive. So Seattle was like the murkiest, wettest climate that suited his skin.
Just moist.
Yeah,
moist. He needs moist.
Yep.
All right.
That was a word that we heard a lot.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. That was a silly word that we kept joking about on the drive here. And yeah, I just decided to come with him.
Yeah. Now you have done some collections of songs that you have up on Bandcamp, and I love the art on those. It almost looks like you use family photos for those.
Yeah.
You have it's just very nostalgic. It's very at home. It's you as a child, you playing in the snow, things like that. You use as covers. Is that right? That's what those are, family photos. Yeah. It's strangely effective, especially given the nature, kind of wistful nature of your songs. One in particular seemed very profoundly troubled song for someone as young as yourself. Where are you sort of channeling someone else's stuff, or is this kind of your own stuff already bubbling to the top?
No, I like to write to other people's perspectives, or I like to create characters, I guess, in my songs. They're not always me singing. I mean, it's me singing, but it's through somebody else's head, I guess, or
someone else's voice. A little
bit. I like to make different characters, like I said, in my songs.
Right. So. The song I'm thinking of is "Thought I'd Be a Better Man."
Okay.
Than I am right now. Which...
Yeah. Yeah, it actually might have been me. Just after graduating college, I moved back in with my dad and didn't know where I was going to go with my life. And was kind of like, what do I do?
That period.
Yeah.
But you have been pretty busy. You have several things on Bandcamp, right? There's several things that people can go look up right now.
Yeah.
They type in Kangaroo Boy Bandcamp, they'll see.
Yeah.
Things. Are any of those recent? I can't remember if any of you've done.
Probably the last one was from this January.
Okay.
Right before I moved. And I will say that those recordings are super rushed because it was kind of, if I may, the story of those songs is, like I said, my buddy had a date, or we had, he was planning on moving.
Right.
I kind of jumped on the whole move to the West Coast at the last second. Throughout the winter, I had been recording all these songs, and then I decided to move to Seattle with him. The day before, we planned a date to move, and we actually made a $200 bet with one of our best friends from home, where he was like, "You won't move on this day." The day we're gonna move, there was just an out of nowhere terrible snowstorm. and it would have been, we would have died if we would have tried to drive across country. So that day, I just mixed a bunch of songs and threw them up on the internet and thought, well, maybe people will listen to those. So that's what those songs are. They were all mixed in a day. If you listen to them, you don't like them. That's because they were just thrown together at the last second. I'm not very proud of them, but they're up there. You can listen to them.
Well, your voice is in pretty good form.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good. You immediately know there's something kind of special about them when you hear them, even though it's obvious they're demos. So, yeah. And you have started playing here in Seattle, I believe. You've played a couple little gigs at that club, whose name is escaping me, on Stone Avenue.
Yeah.
And you've played another one.
It was the Skylark.
The Skylark.
Yeah, Skylark.
And, right, Stone Lake Cafe.
Yeah.
So you're getting in there, being able to get out there. So is the Bandcamp the best place for people to find you?
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got some stuff on YouTube too.
Right. And have you been working with other musicians? There's a single you have up, Spirit Circle, I believe. Is that yours? Which is fantastic, by the way. I encourage anyone to look that song up. It's just amazingly fun to listen to. But you did that with somebody. You had a woman sing
I had
with
two
you.
buddies. I had one friend. She's actually like, she doesn't really claim to be a musician. I think she's super musically talented, but it was kind of like we just booked some studio time, and she was just hanging out, and she was like, I was like, yeah, you're gonna play tambourine and sing, and she's like, okay, and I paid for it, but yeah, it was just like a fun little impromptu. Had a dude who played bass, and then she played tambourine and sang, and then so I don't really have musicians playing with me all the time, but that was just like a on the spot kind of thing that we did. It was really fun.
Sure. Well, so those of you out there, after you watch the Plastic Jet Airline performance, you might want to look that one up. It's well worth it. So where will people see you next? Where's your next gig?
All right, so I got one over here in Fremont on June 23rd.
Okay.
It's a Tuesday. I think it's like $6. Probably the opener.
The Nectar?
The High Dive.
Oh,
yeah,
the High
that's
Dive.
right.
Oh, the High Dive.
Yeah, the High Dive. Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations. We were happy to have you on here.
Yeah,
And you've people should know this. It's a very literary musician as well. You work for, or have been freelancing for the Northwest Music Service. Wrote an article about us, but we had him booked before he wrote the article. At least that's our story, which is good. And so, it's a person who's into it and will only get better, I'm sure. So everyone, look for this guy, Kangaroo Boy. Why is that so hard? That's the easiest thing in the world. Why is it so hard to say?
Yeah.
Kangaroo Boy. All right.